Welcome back to the Girl with Her Dogs channel. I'm Vanessa, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make properly balanced home-cooked dog food for 5 very spoiled dogs. Please note that these recipes were specifically designed by a veterinarian for my dogs, which means that they may not be properly balanced for your dogs. Please contact a veterinarian that specializes or focuses on nutrition to get a properly balanced meal done for your dog.
Okay, Ace. There you go. Not for you, Smidge. Yesterday I prepared barley, lots of white rice, and some sweet potato. Okay, so some things in this recipe are going to take longer to cook than others. So I'm going to start the oven so that I can cook my tilapia, and I'm going to put my eggs into an Instant Pot so they can hard boil while I prepare the rest of the food. While the eggs are cooking in the Instant Pot, I am going to put 600 grams of tilapia. Actually, it's a little bit over 600 grams because once it cooks, it's going to weigh a little bit less since it's going to lose a lot of its water. So I cook a little bit more because I'm supposed to have 600 grams of cooked tilapia. Okay, tilapia goes into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. I am cooking it from frozen, so it might take a little bit longer, and then we are going to move on to the rest of the ingredients. Ace, I just fed you. Do you seriously want more food? Sprout, it's because you stole it. Yeah, I know you stole it. I know you took his food. It's just plain rude. Both the chicken recipe and the bison recipe call for collard greens. So I need 390 grams of collard greens. Now the collard greens don't get cooked, they get fed raw. But because vegetables can be a little bit hard to break down, I like to make sure that I am not only cutting this, but blending it. Because if I blend it, that already starts helping in the digestion process. Oh, Sprout, stop your crying. All that dog ever wants to do is eat. That's it. Of course, I have to wash my greens first. And then it's time for them to get blended.
Add the greens to the mixing bowl, and now it's time to get started on the next ingredient.
Okay, now we need 240 grams of red bell pepper. I don't know specifically why it has to be red, but apparently it has to be red, according to the recipe. Okay, now I need 30 grams of dried beef liver. You can also do fresh beef liver, and I did do that the first couple times I made it, but I found that it was really annoying to cook and cut up because liver is very kind of like rubbery once it's cooked. So this is much easier. So we currently have the pepper inside of the food processor. Now I'm just going to add the beef liver. And we are going to blend that all up. Add that lovely mixture to our bowl. So all of our ingredients for the chicken recipe are now completed except for, of course, the actual chicken. Part of the chicken recipe is the sweet potatoes and the barley, which I already cooked yesterday. So now I'm going to cook up the chicken and combine all the ingredients together. Once the chicken is cooked, it goes into the food processor. Okay, get the chicken into the food processor with all of its juices. Okay, the barley is already cooked and I need 1,140 grams of it. Now I need to mix all of the ingredients together.
Commence Ace barking. After mixing in the barley and the sweet potato, I mix in the liver with the red pepper and the collard greens. And lastly, the chicken. We have some very hungry pups on our hands. After thoroughly mixing everything together, I put them in freezer-safe containers to be stored for the next month. It's important to note that this recipe is not properly balanced until feeding time when I add supplements. I'll show you what supplements I add at the end of this video.
Are you seriously bugging me again for food? Little Hoover over here has been cleaning up after me. What do you want, Ace? I've been cooking dog food since 12:30 and you've barked at me for food 3 times. This is the 3rd time you're being fed. Okay, we are on to recipe 2, which is the fish recipe. The fish recipe contains rice, which is already cooked, hard-boiled eggs, which are also already cooked, the tilapia, which is already cooked, canned sardines, already cooked. So the only two ingredients that I need to cook are green beans and zucchini. I need 900 grams of zucchini. And then I need 300 grams of green beans. While the vegetables are boiling, I'm going to start blending up the other ingredients. 900 grams of hard-boiled eggs and 600 grams of sardines. I'm going to add in my tilapia, and when the vegetables are cooked, I will add those in as well. Now it's time to add the vegetables to the fish. For reference, I started cooking this homemade dog food at 12:30, and it's now 3:45, and I still have one more recipe to go. All of this food will last about 1 month between 5 little dogs. So home cooking is definitely a lot of work. Now we mix everything together. 2,200 grams of rice. I need to break it all up because it's all stuck together. Because I need some liquid to break up this rice, I am going to get the vegetables, or I should say the vegetable and fish mixture. Now I'm going to add my tilapia and sardine mixture.
And the fish recipe is complete. I know a lot of people are going to ask me why I don't feed my dogs raw, and I do feed my German Shepherd raw, but my little dogs were having a harder time digesting it, so this works better for them. Now we are on to our final recipe, which is the bison-based recipe.
Okay, final recipe. I am exhausted. It's been a day. All right, carrots, 450 grams of carrots. These will not be cooked. These are served raw. Add in 150 grams of collard greens. And this goes into our big pot. What do you know? Ace is barking again. Looks like he wants to be fed again. He's such a pain in my butt. I hear you, Ace. Thank you. I will be there in a second. Just let me finish my task. Okay, it's time to cook the bison. The pan is dirty because I cooked the chicken in here, and I am too tired to wash the pan multiple times. So, why bison? Because I know that's going to be a question. Gidget, when I originally started making these recipes, it was for her, and she was having a lot of regurgitation issues. I wasn't sure if she was having a reaction to certain proteins or what the cause of it was. So I asked the vet that made these recipes for me to make them with novel protein sources. So bison was one of them, and we did fish because Gidget doesn't normally eat fish. So to her, that was more of a novel protein source. So that's the reason why we decided to do bison. Where do I source bison? I get it online, and it gets delivered right to my door. While the bison is cooking, I'm going to put in my eggs. So that was 300 grams of hard-boiled eggs. Now we have 300 grams of pumpkin and 60 grams of hemp seeds. And of course, add that all to the pot. Naturally, Ace is bugging me, so I have to feed him again. This is what we do. We eat, and then we sleep, and then we wake up and we bark because we want to eat, and then we sleep. And then we wake up, and then we bark, and then we eat, and you get it at this point, you get it. This is what Ace does all day, every single day. And then I gotta feed you in front of your siblings and they get upset. Nope, not for you, Sprout. I wonder if spinning makes it taste better. You're a strange dude, little man. Oh, hello, Melvin. It's the first time you've come out all day. It's nice of you to say hello. Okay, the bison is almost finished. I'm going to add in the rice. Woo, 2,100 grams of rice, and mix that all in. Last but not least, we add in the bison.
In total, it took me 5.5 hours to complete 3 different recipes for 5 dogs. This food will last about 4 weeks. If you're interested in getting recipes for home-cooked meals for your pets, I've linked the information for the veterinarian that I used in the description. At mealtime, I add a seaweed calcium supplement made by Animal Essentials. I also use a vitamin, mineral, and amino acid powder made by Balance It. And lastly, when I'm not feeding the fish recipe, I will add Nordic Naturals omega-3 liquid. These supplements are essential to ensure that you are feeding a complete and balanced diet. Failure to add supplements into a home-cooked diet can result in long-term health problems. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and I'll see you all next week on another episode of Girl with Her Dogs.